The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time. The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers. Back to throw Montana. Step up throws. This fight is over. Floyd Mayweather has a knockout victory over Ricky Hatton. Smiling. Oh! He slapped him! Conor McGregor is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world! Oh! Unbelievable!
Put the countdown mic up! Hell no!
Welcome back to Championship Rounds. Today, I'm going to discuss UFC 257 as well as the AFC, NFC championship games in the NFL. Yes, going to discuss all of that, and I have the pleasure of having the homie Originali on, and he's going to join us as well. He's going to join me and Chris for the NFL picks and discussion as well. But right now, he's on with me to discuss this Conor McGregor fight. Brandon, what's up, bro?
It's an honor to finally be on the podcast. You know, it's been a long time coming, but now that you got their MMA guru on here, now we can really dig deep.
Okay, definitely gave yourself a way better introduction than I even did. But let's not waste any time with this. Let's go ahead and jump right into this card, which should be a good one. We're going to start with the preliminary card. The first fight we have is Khalil Roundtree, and he's going up against Marcin Prichinho. And let me just say something off the bat. Khalil Roundtree is a fighter that's been win here. He trades wins and losses. He's fighting a guy in Prichinho that came from one championship who has lost all three of his UFC appearances by KO. What do you think about this one, B?
When you set it up like that, I mean, it's like, what does this guy really bring to the table? But I will tell you, when I look at Khalil Roundtree Jr.'s record here, it's not too good either. His last fight, was last year, September 28th, 2019. He lost by TKO in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and then, you go back in April of that same year, he won by decision. And then before that, in 2018, in November, he lost. So, I mean, we're sitting here going, look, this Roundtree guy had a lot of hype behind him. I remember Joe Rogan hyping this guy up largely. And he does have a lot of good skill set, and I am taking him in this fight. But, let's not sell it short. He's not looked too good in the UFC either.
All right, that's a great insight on it. And just let me add to that. You're taking Roundtree, smart pick. Let me add a little bit to that. Khalil Roundtree, yes, his record doesn't look too great. He's a specimen of a man. He actually trains out of Tiger Muay Thai, and that's a very, very notable gym there, a notable club of fighters there. Volkanovski also comes out of there, but let me not trail off. Khalil Roundtree, when I think of him, I think of the time he fought Gokhan Saki. Now, Gokhan Saki was a championship kickboxer who came over to the UFC. He's currently still in the UFC, I think. But the fact is that before the fight, he said he was going to pick Khalil Roundtree apart, that there were so many holes in Khalil Roundtree's game that he was going to expose. And Khalil came out there on fight night and put him to bed. So I'm with you on this one. Going with Khalil. I think he knocks out a guy that has been nothing but getting knocked out since he's been in the UFC. So, anything you want to add to that before we move on?
I'm just going to say, yeah, I agree. I think he's going to just continue that guy's win streak of losing by knockout.
There you go. All right. Going ahead and segue into the next fight. This one's going to be at women's bantamweight. You got Olympic silver medalist in wrestling, Sarah McMahon, and she's going up against the Venezuelan vixen, Juliana Pena. Go ahead, B.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I mean, they're both, kind of win and loss back and forth. But, I would say that definitely Julia Pena's fought way better competition. If you just go look at her profile, we can look at her last 5 fights. Her last fight was against Durandamy, and of course she lost in the third round by submission in that one. But also on that list is Shevchenko and Kat Zagano and Jessica Ai, who she did beat, both of those two, by decision, mind you. But she did get the W in that one. So it's a tough one to call. I mean, really for me, Sarah McMahon, she had a lot of hype when she came into the UFC.
Did.
She was a great, hyped her up as a great wrestler. And she did win her last fight, that was at the beginning of last year. So it's been about a year since she fought.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also a decision. I think McMahon's going to win this one. I think she's going to go ahead and get the takedowns. I think she's going to utilize her wrestling. And I see her getting the win.
Okay. So you're going with McMahon on this?
That's right.
All right, that's definitely a pick. Let me give you my 2 cents on this fight. You mentioned that McMahon did get that decision win over. It was Lena Landsberg. She got it over. She definitely got the victory. But before that, she had been submitted by Marion Renault and Ketlin Vieira. And then you got on the other side, you got obviously Juliana Pena, who, as you mentioned, has fought the upper echelon of fighters, but she really hasn't defeated anyone that great of note. I mean, Kat Zingano, that's a good win. Definitely a Kat fan. Alpha Cat. She's in Bellator now. Anyways, she beat Kat Zingano, but Kat Zingano isn't the same fighter she was when she was undefeated. She lost that allure of invincibility when she was defeated, and she's been defeated a few times now. The point that I'm trying to make here is that, yes, Juliana has fought the upper echelon of fighters, but she doesn't have a victory over the upper echelon. Those top fighters, she's in there with them. She makes it a fight. She looks good in the fight, but then she gets submitted. And it's looking like McMahon here is getting submitted by the lower echelon of fighters. And I know Ketlin Vieira, she had some hype before she went in there and got, destroyed. You know what I mean? But so let me just get to the point here. My pick, you got the Olympic silver medalist McMahon coming in, and you got Juliana Pena on the other side. Both of their strategies are predicated in grappling and wrestling. It's easy for me to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and ride with the silver medalist with you in this one, but I really don't think McMahon has the fire to compete anymore. I think Juliana's drive to compete is stronger than McMahon's at this point, and that's why I'm going with Pena. Anything you want to add?
I mean, I think you make great points. I mean, I would concede to that. The only thing is, I think Sarah McMahon is a better wrestler, and all of her wins have been by submission. Except for her last fight, which was a decision. But, I just think she gets it done, and I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, it's a fight. It's definitely a fight.
It's one of those fights that definitely could go either way.
Alrighty. Going to go ahead and get to the next fight. It's a competition between Brad Tavares, the UFC mainstay, and Shoeface Antonio Carlos Jr. What do you got in this one, B?
Honestly, I don't know who the other guy is. I know who Brad Tavares is. There's some guys I don't know everything about, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, I know Brad Tavares did fight Israel Adesanya, and he did lose that fight. But he didn't get finished in that fight, ironically enough. It was a 5-round fight, and it was a decision loss, So as I'm looking at his last 5 fights, he hasn't won since 2018. But like I said, he did take Israel Adesanya to a decision, which to me, we could say Israel is just killing it right now. Now, if we look at the Antonio Carlos Jr.'s last fight, he's coming off 2 losses as well. One to Uriah Hall, who we just saw go out there and retire Anderson Silva.
Split decision.
And he's got a win over Tim Boetsch. So, I don't know. This one is a pick-em fight once again, but I'm going to go ahead, and I'm probably going to go with Antonio Carlos Jr. on this one.
Alrighty. Okay, you're going with Shoeface on it, and I'm just going to add to that. I feel like Tavares is a journeyman. All right. I feel like he is good enough to get victories in the UFC against guys that are either equal to his level and definitely below his level. But I feel like he's one of those guys where he's on the level where they'll put somebody. If you beat Brad Tavares, you're ready for the next tier of guys. He's one of those guys. He's a gatekeeper kind of fighter. And then you got Shoeface there that you mentioned lost the 2 decisions in his last 2 fights, but the man is a jiu-jitsu world champion. He is tremendous on the ground. I think he used to compete as high as heavyweight, and now here he's competing at middleweight. So I think he gets the victory too. I think he drags Tavares to the ground, makes it ugly, and I think he might even pull off the submission. Anything you want to add to it?
Absolutely not.
All right, then we're going to move right along. All right, this is the last fight of the preliminary card. We got Nasrat Haqparast versus Aman Turaskian. And sorry if I mispronounced that, but what you got on this one, B?
You know what? They're both coming in 4-1 on their last 5 fights. I will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will also tell you these guys are decision specialists. Both of them have the exact identical record in their last 5 fights. 4 wins, all by decision. 3 wins, and 1 by TKO. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a wrestle fuck fight. There's going to be a lot of crotch sniffing. So if that's your thing, you're going to be wanting to tune in for this one. For me personally, I could give a rat's ass. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with our man.
All right. Any reason why you're gonna choose him other than the other?
His name was easier to say.
All right, fair enough. I'm not gonna waste too much time on this fight either. These guys aren't very noteworthy. I'm gonna also go with our man, not because his name's easier to pronounce, but because he ain't the guy that got knocked out when he lost his fight. So, and it looks like he's got a longer history of fighting. He's been fighting for much longer than his opponent. So yeah, going with our man as well. And his first name might be easier to hold on. Now that I do mention it, I do mention watching some of Haqparast's fights, and You've been in there. He got knocked out by Drew Dober. All right, sorry about that. Gonna switch up. Going with Haqparast. I know he got knocked out by Drew Dober, but I am familiar with this fighter way more, and I just got a hunch here for no other reason. So there's that. Brandon, do you got anything to add? No, you don't, because I know you're ready to move on too. Okay, well, all right. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. This is the first fight of the main card. We got Marina Rodriguez versus a fighter that the UFC is trying to push, and that's Amanda Ribas. What's good, B?
If you look at both their records, you could be fooled. Marina Rodriguez, obviously, she is 12-1, but she also has 2 draws on there, which ironically came in her last 2 fights. In one of her last 2 fights. In her last fight, she lost to Carla Esparza. I said her name wrong.
Esparza.
We can edit that in post. What is it?
Esparza?
Esparza.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously I know who that is. They're talking about her maybe getting a title shot next. So
former champion.
But look, let's move on over to Amanda Ribas, who obviously, like you said, the UFC is trying to put their eggs in the basket of her, and rightfully so. Her last 5 fights, she's won every single one of them. Notable wins were against Mackenzie Dern. She definitely finished. No, that was a decision. But that was a good fight. I remember that one. And she dominated. So I'm going to go with Ribas on this one. Amanda, the UFC's putting their rocket fuel, as they say, on her back, and I think she gets the win.
All right. Yeah, she's definitely got a little bit of a streak going right here, and that Mackenzie Dern fight is a good one. She took out Paige Van Zandt like she should have. Randa Marcos, definitely a fight she should have won. Emily Whitmire, she's got some names that she's definitely defeated here. She did get knocked out by Polyana Viana in another promotion, but since she's been in the UFC, she's definitely been doing her thing. But this is a fight. This is gonna be a good fight. Like, Rodriguez might have lost a split decision, as you mentioned, to Carla Esparza, but she's probably gonna get a title shot again. Like, Esparza is the first ever strawweight champion. Yes, she defeated Rose Namajunas. Unanimous decision. Got it done. So, and she's been looking good as of late. Yes, she is a wrestler. That's what she does. She takes you down. She wins rounds. She wins the fight. Say what you want to say about that. But this is going to be a fight. So, I like losing that decision to her, drawing with Cynthia Cavillo, who I believe is a great fighter as well. I mean, she drew with Rain DeMarcos, though. But that's the only one I'm kind of iffy about. Like, I feel like good fighters beat Rain DeMarcos. And I was a really big Rain DeMarcos fan at one point. But she's definitely not a top fighter. So, I think I'm going to go with I think the UFC keeps her rolling. I'm going to go with Rebus as well. You know? Anything.
Yeah, you're right. I just wanted to say, you're right, though. It is going to be a fight. It's a great way to open the card. It's a good way to get this event hyped, because I know I'm hyped.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Should be fireworks. That's going to be a good women's fight, for sure. Mm-hmm. All right.
And they're definitely the future of the division. I will add that. These two girls here,
mm-hmm.
you know, one of these girls will be fighting for a title possibly this year. And you know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction. One of them does become champion.
All right. Hey, I could definitely see that. So it's a bold prediction, but it could come to fruition for sure. All right. So we're going to move on to the next fight. We got Matt the Steamroller Frivola. Shout out to Longo Serra. And then he's fighting Atman Azatar. What you got?
You know, this is another one. Both these guys, I like this guy, Matt Friovola. I can't say his name tonight. But, look, he's coming off 2 wins, decision wins.
Mm-hmm.
Of that, he's a flashy fighter. I like him. You know, I definitely go for the fighter. My favorite fighter, as we'll talk in the main event, is Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. So I do like guys that show a little bit of that flash. Now, the guy he's fighting, Atman Azatar, he's coming in on a 5-win. He's won every fight, okay? And let me tell you, they're all finishes in the first round. Okay.
Whoa.
So, and these are all KOs. These are not.
He's putting boys to bed. Say less.
He's putting them to sleep. So let me go ahead and take him with a knockout in the first round.
All right. I like that. This guy is a freaking assassin. He's taking guys out left and right. You know what I mean? Kamaworthy. The man is a great striker. Like, that's not a big name. I know a lot of people don't know him. Kamaworthy's a great striker. This man dispatched him in the first damn round. So, other than that, like, obviously there's a bunch of, I'm looking at his wiki right now. He's only got 2 opponents there is UFC opponents that even have wiki pages. But he's knocked out, you know, the people that do and people that don't too. So you're right. And he's looking nasty as hell. And then let me go ahead and get back over to the Steamroller Frivola. All right. Well, I just want to see. He's lost 1 fight against Paulo Reyes, KO punch. Man. I really, this is hard for me because I'm kind of torn emotionally, but from a betting perspective, you know what I mean? Obviously, the undefeated guy that has been KOing people looks like the safe bet. But man, especially with that knockout to Paulo Reyes, like, why can't, you know, I mean, like, knock him out too? So, I mean, I really like the gym, Sarah Longo, but I'm with you on this one, B. But I think Frivola gets to the second round. I think he gets TKO'd in the second round. Going with Azatar as well. Anything you want to add on this one?
I'll just add that he's 13-0, and he's going to be 14-0 after Saturday. So,
hey, I concur. All right, moving on to the next fight of the card. You got Jessica Evil fucking Eye. The fucking part's not part of her name, but you get it. And she's going up against Joanne Calderwood. Take it away, B.
You know, I really don't. I hate putting, the women's fighting down or the division. I'm not really putting women's fighting down, but these two women here, I believe, were put in positions they didn't deserve. Jessica I, for one, got the title fight against Shevchenko and obviously lost in the second round.
Disgustingly.
Got her lights turned out.
Oh, man. Almost died. Not really,
Okay.
but...
Right, but I mean, and her last fight, she's coming off a loss. She fought in June last year, lost a 5-round decision. I'm just not sold on her. Never have been. Okay, I know that there's fans of hers out there. All 3 of them. I'm sorry, but I'm just not feeling her. Moving on over to Joanne Calderwood, it's kind of the same story. Her last fight, she lost in the first round to Jennifer Maia, and that was a submission. So,
yeah.
There's that, you're going off. It's just, to me, I honestly, Marcel, I could once again get Rat's ass about this fight. And I'm going to go with hopefully a double knockout, if that's possible. But if I had to make a pick, though, if I had to make one pick, give me Calderwood, because I just can't stand Jessica I, bro.
Okay, well... thank you for that insight. I'm gonna go and say I'm with you on the perspective of these women. Like, both of them lose fights. They both lose fights. None of them can string more than 2 wins together to save their life. Okay, so at this point, I don't know what this fight means nothing to me. And the funny thing is that these 2 women are still like in the rankings. So. But this fight definitely means nothing to me, either. But Joanne Calderwood got submitted by Jennifer Maia in the first round. I don't know how much she's got left. She's lost several fights. How much does Calderwood have left in the tank? Like, let me look at her record, because I'm just going off my memory here. So I just remember her losing fights.
Calderwood?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's 14-5.
Yeah, dude. See, Kavia beat her, Andrade beat her, Moroz, Maya, Chukagian. I gotta go with Jessica I. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not a Jessica I fan, obviously, but I'm gonna go with Jessica I just because I feel like she's got more fight left in her, and both of these women are definitely never gonna be champions. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just add, just like you said, this fight means dick. It doesn't mean fuck all. Nobody cares. We're only watching because we have to, just to get to the next fight. So let's go ahead and move on to it.
All right. It's well said, sir. All right. Affirmative. We got the co-main event. Got the Hangman, Dan Hooker. And he's going up against the Bellator man, Michael Chandler. That's not his moniker, but Michael Chandler, his first fight in the promotion. What do you think about this one, Brandon?
This is going to be a great fight. I'm really excited about this fight. If Conor wasn't on this card, I'd be more pumped about this fight. Dan Hooker, his last fight with Dustin Poirier, who was also in the main event on this card, 5-round war. Could win either way. I do think that Poirier did turn it on in the last 2 rounds, showed his championship heart, and pulled away with that victory. But, there are some people that said that fight could have went either way. And I would, there's no debate from me on that one. He did lose that one. Right before that, in February of last year, he fought Paul Felder. He lost that fight as well. He won that fight, 5-round decision, another war. But in that one, he looked fantastic. Also going down there, the next fight, Al Iaquinta, another banger. 3-round, he got the win on that one. These are guys that when you fight these guys, and these are guys, all in the top of the division, with the, exception of maybe Paul Felder. Hey, look,
no, he's at the top, bro. He's a good fighter.
Okay, he's at the top as well. I know he retired and he came back, so I don't like to keep him in the discussion, you know what I mean? But Al Iaquinta, hey, he's the one that he went the distance with Khabib. Am I wrong here?
Definitely did.
I mean, so we're talking about guys. I'm really tooting Dan Hooker's horn here, but he showed me a lot in these fights. He has heart. Now he's going against Michael Chandler. Okay, this guy, he's coming from Bellator. Some people say Bellator is like the WCW of MMA. I would disagree, but I think I was the one that came up with that. But look, his last fight was against Ben Henderson, and he knocked him out in the first round. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can say what you want about Ben Henderson, but he was a champ in the UFC for a long time, and he was never beaten in the UFC. So
What? Say that again.
Was he never beaten in the UFC?
No, he definitely lost his belt. He lost his belt to Anthony Showtime Pettis.
Okay.
Yeah, but he did leave the promotion on a winning streak, and his last win was against James Krause at welterweight, actually, when he fought at 155. So he was a hot prospect when he left.
My point is, this guy's a great fighter. He's not some slouch.
Right.
People think you go to Bellator. No, there's some good fighters there, and he's one of them. So, look, if I had to make one choice, as I've said, all throughout this podcast, I'm going with Dan Hooker. Okay, and this fight has ramifications. The winner of this fight, depending on how they win the fight, they could be next in line for a title shot. Whoever wins. So, depending on what the main event does, I mean, you could really say, the winner of that fight does get a title shot. But like I said, I'm going with Dan Hooker.
All right, hey man, that's what I'm gonna go and go on and say it and not waste time. I'm going with Hooker too. I'm going with Hooker because of all the reasons that you outlined tremendously well. Hooker is the rangier fighter. Hooker is the better striker here. Now you can say Chandler's got the wrestling experience or the wrestling, the wrestling advantage, okay? But whatever you think, Hooker is not about to get held. How many times have you seen Hooker get held down and he can't get back to his feet?
I can't recall.
All right. If Chandler couldn't hold down Eddie Alvarez. Now Eddie Alvarez is a good fighter, but Chandler couldn't hold him down or beat him. Like, Chandler's been beat twice by Will Brooks. Sorry. CM Punk. Sorry. But, yeah. All I'm saying is that Chandler has been beaten, by a lesser caliber of fighter. I know MMA math is not like something that you can go by, and Chandler did take out Ben Henderson. That's a great win for him to have. But I'm definitely with you. Like, the fighter that I'm picking is Hooker. Like, he's definitely gonna come in here. He's not gonna lose to Chandler in his first fight in the promotion, because you're right. If Chandler wins this fight, they're gonna throw him into a title shot. He was already the alternate, I think, for Khabib and Gaethje. So they're definitely looking to give him a title shot. So, and he'll probably get a title shot at some point. You know how it is in the UFC. But yeah, I'm not impressed. Like, the man got knocked out by, Patricio Pitbull, you know what I mean? And he fights at a weight class lower. He made that guy a champ. The first Bellator champ. You know what I mean? Then Ryan Bader got it, another story. But yeah, he got knocked out by Brent Premise. I know he hurt his little ankle on that one. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So yeah, Hooker is the guy to pick here. Do you got anything to add, B?
It's just like you said, man. Dan Hooker, he's on the up. I mean, both these guys are on the up, I mean, it could go, like you said, the striking is just better, and that's where I think it's going to shine, and you're going to see why there's levels to this.
All right. There's something in my mouth. Hold on. No. All right. That was a Conor McGregor quote. There's levels to this, kid. All right.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, we are. So, main event, you know what it is. You got Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Conor. The notorious. Dana would be so freaking mad at me. So would Bruce Buffer. Anyways, the notorious Conor McGregor. And this is a rematch. Conor McGregor knocked him out. And in their first fight, that was at featherweight at 145. Are they fighting at 55 for this fight? I think they are. Who you got? Who you got, B?
Oh my God.
Obviously,
man,
right?
you know the answer to that question, but I'm going to go over Dustin Poirier for a minute because he deserves it.
All right, he definitely deserves it
a lot. His last fight was against the guy we were just talking about and hyping up, Dan Hooker. And as we said, he, in the last rounds, it went 5 rounds, he pulled away. He had the better striking. His heart showed, and it showed that he's a more mature fighter now. The Dustin of old, in featherweight, I don't think, that would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, before that, he fought Khabib for the belt, and he did lose in the 3rd round. But, he's a tough fighter. He's beat Max Holloway. Look at what Max Holloway did last week. What did he do?
Put on a masterclass.
Max Holloway looked like he should be the champion of a 2-weight division, which I still think we might see. But yeah, look, Dustin Poirier, great fighter, but he's going in there against a motherfucking monster, and his name is Conor McGregor. And I don't need to go over his record. We all know what he's done. We know his only 2 losses were on 2-week notice to Nate Diaz and Khabib, who arguably is the greatest lightweight of all time. Now, I don't say that, but there's people that say that. But Conor, listen, this guy's on another level now, and we're going to see that. I don't see any difference in this fight than their first fight. I see Dustin standing in front of Conor and Conor picking him apart. And that's just what's going to happen. Now, will it happen in 60 seconds? I don't know. I think it could happen. We'll see. But I think it goes to the 2nd round, and that's when Conor finishes him.
All right. Well, I knew that pick was coming. Obviously, you're a huge Conor McGregor fan, and everything you speak about what he's done, which wasn't much because everybody knows you said, and they do. Yeah, like that's definitely the safe pick. That's the popular pick. That's the pick everybody's gonna make. You've made it, seen it coming a mile away. More, you know what I mean? A lot more than that. But let me add my insight. Yeah, Dustin Poirier is definitely a man to be respected. Finally got it. All right, Dustin Poirier is definitely a man to be respected. He's knocked out Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, submitted Anthony Pettis, you know what I mean? Knocked out Bobby King Green. He's definitely done some things. He's lost to Khabib, as you mentioned. He got knocked out by Michael Johnson. All right. Did Michael Johnson also beat Tony Ferguson? Am I saying that right?
He did.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So, Michael Johnson is not a bad fighter. He definitely rocked Khabib when they fought. You know what I mean? So, on the feet.
Definitely.
So, I could see that. But Conor McGregor is a different breed of striker. All right? He's not traditional. He's not the traditional type of striker. He's not going to come at you in a conventional way, you know what I mean, in a conventional boxing manner. And I know Poirier's got kicks and all that too in his repertoire. But I just feel like Conor, his punches are going to land, and they're going to land with more ferocity. You know what I mean? He's going to sit Dustin down. And I got to go with, I'm sorry, but I got to go with Conor on this one as well. Like, I feel like the fight's not going to go to where it's questionable of whether Conor is going to get tired, because it's going to be over inside of 2 rounds. So, going with Conor McGregor, that's my pick. Got anything more to add to that, B?
I mean, yes, of course. Conor McGregor is the GOAT to me. He was the first 2-weight champion. They didn't let him, defend any of those belts except for, the one against Khabib. But, look, Conor's striking now compared to his previous fights, it just keeps getting better and better each fight. And that's what I'm saying. This guy took the world by storm, and I think we're going to see a comeback Saturday that's going to be set the tone, I guess you could say, for what's going to come this year. Because I think this year is going to be Conor McGregor's year.
Okay. Well, I remember back when he said, you know what I mean, I forget the years, but he said 2000 something was my year, 2000 this was my year, every year is my year.
Uh-huh.
All
And
right.
is he wrong? Is he wrong?
Yeah, he's wrong. The year he lost to Khabib wasn't his year, but yeah. Anyhow, do you think Khabib comes back?
I disagree. One loss in the octagon, but you got to think he got to fight with Money Mayweather. Didn't go his way, but his pocketbook went his way.
Did he fight Khabib the same year he fought Manny Mayweather?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think Mayweather was 2017, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I'm looking into it.
But as you look that up, yeah, I mean, even in defeat, he comes out on top. Is the way I see it.
Interesting perspective.
But yeah, I mean, look, I'm a big Conor fan. There's no debating that.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people say, okay, he destroyed Donald Cerrone, but it's Donald Cerrone, this and that. But yeah, it's Donald Cerrone, and no one did what Conor did to Donald Cerrone. Not one fighter.
You're absolutely right.
And Donald Cerrone, yeah, it's on the tail end of his career, but he's a tough son of a bitch, man. And you don't know which Donald you'll get half the time. I've seen this dude do combos like you've never seen and knock boys out.
Definitely.
So, I'm just really excited, man. Even if you're not a Conor fan, you tune into a Conor fight, you're going to be thoroughly entertained one way or another.
You're absolutely right. The man puts on a show one way or another, and he usually knocks people out and gets them out of there, and it usually doesn't take long. All right, so we are going to segue into these NFL picks. Go ahead and roll the winners.
Championship weekend. Bills against the Chiefs. Packers against the Bucks. Me, I'm taking the Bills because Kansas City should have been there. I don't know how they let Chad Henne do that shit, but they jacked that game off, but the Bills won't. Facts. Plus, I just feel like they got an overall game plan that's going to fuck the Chiefs up. You know what I mean? Because they ain't going to let, goddammit, all them Kelsey and Tyreek Hill get to doing all that dumb shit. That's a wrap. And the Packs and the Bucks already know, goddammit, Tom Brady is the GOAT, so it's going to be the Bucks. They already beat the fuck out of Aaron Rodgers already. And they're going to beat his ass again. And I feel like and this is playoff Tom Brady this is playoff Tom Brady we talking about. You know what I mean? And this is playoff Tom Brady we talking about. 14. This is his 14 conference finals. He won 9 of them. So you do the math. And I say the more pressure is on Aaron Rodgers because Brady only got 6. And he's on a new team in his first year. Come on, man. You know more pressure is on Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady playing with house money. Josh Allen playing with house money. You feel me? So we Gucci. They Gucci. You feel me? So I feel like more pressure is on Aaron Rodgers because he needs another Super Bowl ring. He needs another Super Bowl ring because Tom Brady got 6. You feel me? But Mahomes going for his second one in 3 years. It's a pretty nice feat, but I think the Bills are spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You know what I mean? So, T-Hang, Marcel championship rounds.
All right. We're here. Got the homie Originality with me as well. Chris Workman, Workman's Winners. What's up, Chris?
What up?
B?
Yeah, what up?
All right. We're not going to waste time, but Chris, you got anything to say about the week you had last week on your NFL picks? Take the floor.
Let's see, Marcel. I predicted everything correctly. Chiefs won, but didn't cover, like I suspected. The Bills won outright as underdogs. The Bucks won outright as underdogs. All right, and the Packers covered easily against the beat-up Rams. So here we go on to next week.
All right. Well, you're coming in hot. B, what did you think about last week's games?
I didn't like them. I thought the Saints could have pulled it off, but they definitely didn't. The Bucks showed their ass, and it is what it is. But you know what? The Bucks, their time's coming.
Their time is coming. All right. Well, we're just going to go ahead and get into the first game here, and that's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to Lambeau. Yes, they're going to Green Bay. They're going to Wisconsin to play the Packers. Go ahead, B. What you think about this game?
I would like to defer to Chris because I really want to hear his opinion first before I give mine.
All right. Go ahead, Chris.
He's a smart man. I've got a lot to say. So here we are. So these teams faced off last in week 6. All right. What can we take from that game into this one? Well, we know historically for teams that have played in the winter, the teams that have played in the regular season, the winner has won 7 out of 2 times, or 7 to 2 out of 9 times. All right. 9-1 if the team has won by 20 or more points in that game. All right. So that's a lot of stats saying right there that the Bucks are going to win this game because what they've done is able to be done again. Listen, the Packers lost last year to the Niners 37-8 in the regular season, then turn around and lost to them in the NFC Championship, just like they're going to do to the Bucks this year. Okay, the Bucks got the number 1 overall defense in the NFL as far as rushing is concerned. Okay, Vita Vea, all right, big defensive tackle, run stopper, got injured in week 5. Okay, he's coming back for this game. All right, how much we don't know, but he'll be in there. Okay, so 3rd and longs all day for the Packers. Brady's 14-2 in NFC championship or in playoff games when the weather is 32 or below. All right, it's another good stat for you. Also, listen here, the Packers, they're not a very prolific turnover team. Okay, but because listen, they've got 0 turnovers in 21 of their 35 games with Matt LaFleur as their head coach. Okay, they're 20-1 in those games. It's a big stat, but that just means they're 8-6 when they have just 1 turnover. If they have 2, they're almost doomed. Okay, that's big. The Packers can't run against the Bucks. The Bucks can run against the Packers. And I don't think the Packers get any pass rush against Brady. I think that the Bucks once again get pass pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Listen to this. The Packers are 29th in the NFL on percentage of pass plays when knocking down a quarterback. 29th. So I don't think that they get to Brady. I think the Bucks win big again. And that's my prediction on that game.
All right, Brandon.
I mean, he makes a lot of great points, but look, who's the best quarterback in the league to me? Aaron Rodgers, okay? He's got 48 touchdowns this year, and he's got almost 4,300 passing yards. The Packers, they rank first in points scored. So you say they got the number 1 defense. We'll see. We'll see how they play in Lambeau Field because it's a whole different ball game when you go to Lambeau. Make no mistake about it. When you go to Lambeau Field, you better bring your red panties because it's red panty night. Okay. I'm getting real silly with it, but it's true. When you go to Lambeau Field, it's a whole nother level, and we're talking in an NFC Championship game. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers because that's what I see happening.
All right. Thanks, guys, for that. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're fine.
I was just gonna say the Packers have been. Aaron Rodgers has been wanting this his whole career is a NFC Championship game in Lambeau. So he's got it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, let me just go ahead and all right. You guys are both on the opposite sides of the fence on this one. My pick, obviously, if I didn't make it obvious earlier, is also the Green Bay Packers, and it is for that reason. The better quarterback in this equation is Aaron Rodgers, and at the end of the day, it's in Lambeau. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yes, they flipped the script. Like they haven't been to the playoffs, and I don't know how long. How long has it been, Chris? Tampa Bay Buccaneers playoffs? 2002?
Oh, it hadn't been since 2002.
Okay, so 18, 19 years, whatever you want to say. All right, so, or hold on, is that right? Is that right, math? Yeah, it is. Anyways, the point of the matter is,
they're ready for this game too. So
they flipped the script on the losing culture. All right, did they win their division?
No.
So they didn't even. Did. So they didn't win the division. They beat the Saints last week. I picked the Saints. They made me eat my words. They won. Congratulations to them. But this isn't, you know what I mean, the Saints. This is a number, as you said, Brandon, this is the number one scoring offense right now. And it's Aaron Rodgers, and he's at home. I don't see the Patriots coming in here and beating them there.
The Packers
numbers and rankings be damned. So yes, I am riding as well with the green and the yellow, the Green Bay Packers. Go ahead, Chris.
The Packers have the number 1 ranked offense this year, but the Bucks have the number 3 ranked offense this year. And Pro Football Focus has Aaron Rodgers number 1, Brady number 2. So when you're talking about that,
I just don't see the Bucks going on the road all the way to the Super Bowl. But that's just me.
The Bucks have been great on the road this year. So there you go.
Earlier in the year when they beat the Packers, where was that game located?
It was in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I believe.
That's the X factor of this game.
It's definitely the X factor. All right.
Definitely the X factor. Yeah, but like you said, Marcel, I'll add on to that while Chris is taking care of NWO business.
All right.
I would just say that, like you said, Aaron Rodgers is playing on another level right now. He's been consistently good.
Keep going.
He's been consistently good, and like I said, he leads the league in touchdowns with 48. So, I mean, and like you said, they're the number 1 scoring team. You can say what you want about defense, but when you play in the cold, it's different. They're used to the warm weather. That's the X factor of this game.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And I want to say something else. Like they have the number 1 offense for a reason. Like Devontae Adams, I think he might be. I don't want to overstep what I'm saying, but I think he might be the best receiver in the league. Like the man he's up there. He's an upper echelon receiver, and I see why. I see why like Drew Brees couldn't get it done because he just came back from an injury. He didn't have Taysom Hill. Like I see why. But if I feel like they had those factors, they would have won. But that's what it should have, could have talked. But this week they're coming in with their weapons. Like Aaron Rodgers is clicking on every cylinder he needs to click on. Like I don't see him losing at home for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I just really don't.
Right, and I will add on that last game. I mean, how many touchdowns got called back for the Saints? I mean, it was at least 2. So I wonder if they have those.
That punt return was one of those.
Right. So, and there was another. He did another right before that where he brought it almost to the 10-yard line. So,
yeah.
I mean, you got to. Those are the things I take into consideration over this game against the Bucks.
Yeah, there's definitely factors in a game that you can't really predict or account for. So you always have to keep the X factors, as you put, you know what I mean. They're like they could happen. You can't predict, you can't expect, you can't plan for those.
Right.
All right. So all right. So if as long as Chris, are you done with you know what I mean? Your extracurriculars? Okay, you cool? All right. Now we can move on to
come on, cut that out.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay,
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
now we can move on to the last game. All right. And everybody knows who it is. It is the Buffalo Bills. And who are they playing? Anybody?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Gonna go to you first, Chris. What's up?
All right, I like the Bills in this game. Before I even spill any kind of stats to you, I'll just tell you who I like in that one. I like the Bills because I think the Chiefs lose no matter if Mahomes is playing or not. I think he will play, and I think he's going to play a little banged up. His toe is still an issue, so that's a thing already. His mobility is already in question, and then on top of that, he just had a concussion, so I don't think he's going to want to get hit again. Do you? So I like the Bills to do that. These two teams also played this year, also, if we remember that. Okay, that was in October, I believe 19th.
How'd that game go?
The Chiefs easily won that game. The Chiefs easily won that game, but that was but Josh Allen got hurt October 4th, and that was his worst month of football the entire year of an incredible year of football. So I think you take away that injury, and also you add in the fact that not only did they bounce back from that, they were the hottest team in football for the whole second half of the season. Yeah,
Okay.
I like their chances. Not only that, the Chiefs haven't proven anything to me all year that they can blow out a team. As I predicted
They
last week,
they haven't proven anything to you all year, but except having the best record in football. Come on, bro.
I'm
Stop.
saying for
Right.
Chiefs standards, they've not lived up. They haven't convincingly won all year long as much as they should. I don't
They've
think
won
that
more
they
than
have.
anybody else, though. They've won more than anybody else.
Okay, but
Also, I will add is the game to win or to win by a certain amount of points. Because the last I checked, it was just getting a W. Doesn't matter how many points you win by.
Continue though.
listen to this. I would rather pick a Bills team who have won 9 of the last 10 games. Okay, 8 of those wins were by double digits. So that's the team I like. That's why they're the
Right.
hottest team in football. That's why Josh Allen is MVP candidate. Okay, that's why, and that's why I am picking the Bills confidently on Sunday.
You said they won 8 of the last what?
10 games by double digits. That's including playoffs.
And they
Yeah.
beat the Seahawks. Hold on, by double digits. So you're saying the
You can bring up
Chargers,
their schedule if you want.
the Chargers, the Niners, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Patriots, the Dolphins. Those are the double digit games. Those aren't exactly great teams. Yeah, there's some playoff teams in there, but you know that the Seahawks imploded. The Steelers aren't what we thought they were, and the rest of the teams I named sucked.
Facts.
So it is what it is.
The Bills have faced 5 of the top 7 defenses in the NFL this year and won. Okay, and that's not including the Ravens, who also have like the best cornerbacks in football. All right,
Didn't
and
you
they
say?
still
Didn't you?
slowed them down, but they won 17-3.
Weren't you bragging about how you know what I mean?
You're cutting out. You're cutting out a little bit.
Am I?
Sounds good on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Didn't
cutting
you?
out a little bit. Oh, the whole time? Oh, okay.
Hold. Okay. What? Okay, look.
See now, yeah, it's cutting out.
Listen to the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Didn't you say that weren't you bragging rather about how the Buccaneers had the best defense as far as the run goes, and then that's one of the reasons why they're going to win. And now we're talking about the Bills, and you're like, oh, they faced this many of the top defenses and won, and that's exactly why the Packers are going to win. But anyway, that we already did that game. the point of the matter is that defenses might be ranked well, but they still get beat from time to time. Like they do. And I'm not saying that is going to be my pick here, but I just wanted to throw that out there that, you know what I mean, to say that somebody's
So
defense is good and then go ahead.
So the last time that they played, Kansas City ran the ball all over them, so for over 200 some yards. But that's not going to happen this time because they don't have the injuries at the linebacker position that they had that week. And like I said, that was a tough game for the Bills. And since then, just like the Bucks, they figured it out. So,
All
and
right, so
not to
go
go
ahead.
back on the Bucks game, but the Bucks blew out the Packers in Week 6 before they got their offense figured out. Okay, so before they even figured it out, it was enough to beat them. Packers spotted them 10 points in that game. Bucks won 38-10. In this game, it was pretty much it was 26-17. They really won by more than that. But that's one you could almost wash for them because they've played completely different since that game. So
obviously your pick is the Bills here.
yeah, that's been my pick. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brandon.
Well, I mean, I'll try to jump in here. I mean, I think a lot was said, but it's like you know, the Chiefs, they're 9-1 in their last 10 games. Okay, they've already beaten the Bills already easily.
Mm-hmm.
They've beaten the Buccaneers. Okay, they've beaten all the teams that are in the playoffs right now. Every one of them.
Facts.
They beat the Browns, right? Who just crushed the Steelers and were rolling on a big high off that win. You know that's we don't do like we say in the other sport MMA. We don't MMA math. Well, NFL math sometimes don't compute. And Patrick Mahomes, he's going to play. I mean, there's no doubt he's not going to play in this game. It's the injury wasn't as bad as everyone's making it out to be. So he'll be good for this game. And like you said, they're going to run the ball this game, and they're going to do a great job doing it. And I see a big win for the Chiefs. That's my prediction. A big win over the Bills.
All right. Hey, well put. I respect both of your opinions on it. Hell, we don't know what's going to happen. It could go either way. But in this game against Kansas City, who just won the Super Bowl last year, who were a Super Bowl caliber team the year before, they're coming in here. Yes, Mahomes is a bit banged up. He's going up against Josh Allen and these Buffalo Bills, who are the hot topic right now. Everybody's what is it? The Bills Mafia, whatever. You know what I mean? I see him getting power bombed through tables and tables that set on fire, like dumb shenanigans like that. Like they're what's hot. Surprise! The wheels are falling off the wagon this week. You can count on it. Josh Allen is going to be watching the Super Bowl from fucking home. Yes, Kansas City is going back to the Super Bowl for the second time in a row. And next week we're going to be covering the Super Bowl and who do we think's better and who's going to pull it off? Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers?
That's correct. I agree with that 100%.
Anybody got anything to add to this?
I completely couldn't disagree with that anymore. So I'm going with the two underdogs. And just like last week and the week before, I'm going to get these games right, just like I did those. So.
All right. Only time will tell. All right. Just another topic that deals with these playoffs here. Who has the most pressure on them to win? Who would a win mean the most for, rather? Who needs this the most? I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Chris. Go ahead.
This is the easiest answer ever to a question because it's obviously Aaron Rodgers. He by far needs this game more than the other three quarterbacks that are playing on Sunday. By far. Josh Allen is in great position just to be there. Like we just talked about how great they did this year, especially second half of the season. Patrick Mahomes, he could have possibly had 2 Super Bowls already had it not been for Tom Brady. But he does have one, and he's extremely young and looks like he's going to have more. So Tom Brady has had 1 million, and he's the guy that Aaron Rodgers is playing against, the same guy that everyone says is better than Aaron Rodgers. He's the GOAT. So you know Aaron Rodgers wants to win this game, has to win this game, needs to win this game. And all the pressure is on him and the Packers to do that.
Doesn't Aaron Rodgers already
So
have a ring?
he has one. But listen, this is the first time that they've gotten a game in the NFC Championship since he's been on the Packers. This will be their 5th NFC Championship game. Does he want to go 1 for 5 in NFC Championship games? We
Yeah,
know
that
he
wouldn't be
had
good.
the overtime game against Seattle. He had the overtime game against Seattle in 2014, and the year before that they went to overtime against Arizona. But I don't want to hear any excuses. 1 and 5 is 1 and 5. So, and they got blown out in the other games that he played. So in those championship games. So if they get blown out again, if he gets blown out again, it'll be real ugly for Aaron Rodgers. Or if he wins, this will and he goes on to win the Super Bowl, his legacy will be even that more cemented in the history books. So it's a huge game for Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Well put. I agree with most of that. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I would agree a little bit. But I'm going to say, it's a hard one to call because you could make the case for a lot of these teams, especially Buffalo. It's been 26 years since they had a playoff victory. I mean, and now they're in the AFC Championship. I mean, come on, bro. Like, that's got to be a lot of pressure on that young team.
They're the Cinderella story.
Right. And they're playing great football. Even though, my pick was.
Yeah, they're just a Cinderella story. They should be. There's no pressure on them. And Josh Allen's got plenty more years to come too. He's younger than Mahomes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Continue, Brandon.
No, I mean, I just think there's a lot of pressure on a team. It's been 26 years since you had a victory, and here you are in the championship. But yeah, I think there's going to be pressure on Mahomes as well. Can you repeat? Yeah, you can win one. Can you do it again? Okay. I mean, we talk about how young he is and how he's going to have a lot more future Super Bowls in his hat. And of course, I have the bet going that I made last year at your house, Chris, that I thought I was betting on that Super Bowl, that if they win it all, I'm going to get a nice little paycheck. So I don't know. You could argue for all of them. Like I said, I'm going to go with Buffalo. That organization, because I think they need it more than any of them. Like you said, Packers had a Super Bowl, Bucks. How many years did they get let down in the 90s?
Yeah, they definitely lost 4 in a row. I know that. So.
Right. So
sure,
that's where I'm going.
So I'll say this: Buffalo as a franchise needs it more than the Chiefs. The Chiefs look like we can see them being good for years to come. The Bills just kind of became really good. So if they were to beat the Chiefs, that would be great for them. So I think not only is there more pressure on the Chiefs, but there's more pressure on Mahomes for sure than
all right.
Josh
Let me
Allen.
jump in here, and I'm just gonna say that both of you guys made really very good points for whom you picked. There's pressure on all these quarterbacks, and I can go down the list. There's pressure on Brady. Can Brady, go in here and really cement this on his first year here? You know what I mean? Brady ain't gonna be around forever, and then the Bucks are gonna go back to what they used to be. Like they don't have a contingency plan for when Brady goes. There's no quarterback that's gonna stand back there and command the line of scrimmage like he's doing right now. So he's got to win right now. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of players on that team that have names that are going to be expensive. They're not going to be able to retain all these pieces. So they got to win. There's pressure on him there. There's pressure on, as you mentioned, Patrick Mahomes. Can he repeat? Can he go in here, injury or not, and get the job done against the Bills? There's pressure on the Bills for all the things you mentioned. They haven't won the Super Bowl, and when they did have chances, they lost 4 times in a damn row. And there's also pressure on Rodgers. He's fucking at home. can you go back to the Super Bowl? So, but who the most is the question. The most pressure. I'm gonna have to agree with Chris on this one. The Aaron Rodgers, you know what I mean? They always say he's such a bad man. You know what I mean? Prove that. Go in there in your home field and seal the deal. Take your team to the land and seal the deal there too. But the first step is this week, and I think he gets it done. Anybody got anything to add to that?
Yeah, Brady, this is his 14th championship game. If Aaron Rodgers was in the championship game every year of his career, it still wouldn't be that many. That's how
Brandon?
good Brady is. That's why they're going to win.
I mean, I disagree. I mean, like I said, I think it's on Buffalo. I mean, I really do, because they haven't been here in so long. And like I said, they finally have a team. And I disagree with Chris. I think they've been building this for a while. They've been good the past several years. But, you know, the AFC has been a tough-ass division. So, like I said, it's going to boil down to who wants it more.
Yeah, and let me just to add to that, I don't think the Buffalo Bills find themselves in this situation next year or the year after that. So that's what I'm gonna add to it.
Why?
Yeah, I
Why
said it.
wouldn't they? They're so
I don't
good
see them.
this year.
I mean, yeah, they're
Okay,
so
well,
good
that's your
this
opinion,
year.
but
Yeah, that's this year. Look what we
because
did
Josh
last year.
Allen,
We
you
went
think
to
it's
the
going to
Super
get
Bowl.
worse? You think Josh Allen's going to
Nah,
get
bro.
worse?
There's a lot there. It's not all
What is
about
Josh
Josh
Allen?
Allen.
24, 25
It's
years
not
old?
all about Josh Allen.
I think he's
There's a
24
lot of
years
pieces
old.
to an NFL football team. It's not all about the quarterback, buddy. But you know, it is what it is. Like they played a lot of teams that weren't good in that run where you said, oh, they won 8 of the last whatever. They played a lot of suspect teams. Of course they're going to win those games if they're any good at all. So, but at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that I don't see him back here. Then everybody's hyped. They're all hyped. Oh, Bills Mafia, Bills Mafia. We'll see where the Bills Mafia is in the next couple of years to come. Anybody else anything to add to this?
Nope, I ain't got nothing.
All right.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
Josh Allen and the Bills are going to win for a few more years to come, for sure. I like Josh Allen.
Is he
Now,
your
Aaron
new?
Rodgers
Is he
is
your new? Hold on. Is he your new? Is Josh Allen your new Tom Brady when Tom Brady retires?
no. My new Tom
Okay.
Brady is whoever the quarterback for the Patriots is. But I'll support Tom Brady as long as he's playing football. I've rooted for him for 20 years, so you know.
Wow.
But it's too bad he can't still play for the Patriots. But like I said, he's 43 years old. No pressure on him. This might be one of his best years though if they go on to go to the Super Bowl as a quarterback in one of his last years. Now Aaron Rodgers is 37. So think about what Brady was 37 in 2014. And think about what Brady's done since then. How many Super Bowls he's been to since then. So Aaron Rodgers really needs
you already
this.
mentioned that when you gave us the little statistic about Aaron Rodgers and if he wins. Let's go ahead and go to the last topic here that I want to get to. Who is the better player? Who was the better player here? Was it
Oh my God.
Scottie Pippen or Reggie motherfucking Miller? Let's go ahead and start with you, Chris.
I hate this question. But because these two players are like on the same tier, all right, as far as levels are concerned of players rankings. So I still got to go with Scottie Pippen if I'm picking a basketball player to be on my team because of what more he can bring to your team. The defense, bringing up the ball. He can do a whole lot. So more than what Reggie Miller can do. And if you look up their stats, they both averaged about 19, 20 points a game. So Scotty's giving you the same points Reggie was giving you, and he's giving you defense as well. So there's really no way you can argue with this. But if Brandon thinks it was Reggie Miller, we'll have to hear what he's got to say.
Well, you're damn right, because I definitely think it is Reggie Miller. you just brush over Reggie Miller. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he had this. Reggie Miller had some great defense, bro.
Yeah, he's a sneaky underrated defender.
Very
yeah,
underrated.
definitely.
Ask any player that played
Underrated.
against him. And I'm just basing that off interviews I've watched. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but,
no.
Oh, yes. And,
he was so skinny. He wasn't playing that great of defense.
Hold on, man. Let the man speak, man. He didn't interrupt you. Let's go.
All right.
This is true. Reggie Miller is no slouch. He's what, 6'6", 6'7"? He's not a small guy himself. I mean, he's skinny, but dude, he was a crafty. I call him a crafty veteran. But not even only that, he was a scorer, a proven scorer, clutch scorer. You know what I mean? And Scottie Pippen, he only had the reins of the kingdom for 1 year, right? And then, I mean, obviously after Jordan left, and then he went to Portland and did what he did there. But, Reggie Miller, he was the face of the Indiana Pacers, a whole franchise. And, I mean, let's go, man. Like, I mean, look, I'm partial because Reggie Miller is my favorite basketball player of all time. Obviously Jordan, you could say, but Reggie Miller for me is my favorite because of what he brought to the city and,
you guys continue. Give me a second.
The energy he brought, I mean, you knew if there was 3 seconds left, he's getting the ball and he's more than likely going to hit the shot. They didn't call it Miller time for nothing. They didn't call it Boom Baby for nothing.
He was more important to the Pacers. He was more important to the Pacers team than Scottie Pippen was to the Bulls. But neither one of them are going to win you a championship, I believe, as your best player. So,
well, I mean, we took the Bulls to 7 games. I mean, we had to go through the Bulls how many years, but plus we had to go through the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? All these tough-ass teams. Then, after the Jordan era, we had to go through the Kobe and Shaq era, and we still got to the finals. I mean, what did Pippen do after he left the Bulls?
It's true. And Pippen's best years, Pippen's prime years were the years Jordan wasn't in.
Yeah.
Because when Jordan when Jordan retired, those were Scottie's prime years. And when Jordan came back, he kept getting injured. He was out a lot. In
Jordan or Scottie?
In 97 and 90. Scottie.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan carried the Bulls to those last 3 championships. So,
right, and that's the point I was making is that, Reggie, it was all on Reggie. Yeah, he had a good supporting cast, but Reggie was hitting the shots. You know what I mean? He was making the defensive plays. He was pushing Jordan out the way to hit that three-pointer. I mean, look, Pippen had it. Go ahead, Marcel.
They still average.
Yeah, let me go ahead and step in here. It's edge to Reggie though. If you look at the stats, let me go ahead and step in here.
By a point or two.
Let me go ahead and step in here. My headphones are dying and whatnot, so let me get this out. Both of you guys are making valid points. I can't argue with what you guys are saying because there's an argument to be made for either player. But as far as the player that I'm picking as the better of the two, and this is the unpopular opinion, but yes, Reggie damn Miller. Reggie Miller time, the clutchness of Reggie Miller to win you a game in the last seconds or, you know what I mean, in crunch time. Like that's real. Reggie Miller was a player that had to worry about the other team planning to beat him. He's the premier player. He's the best player. Every team that comes in is putting their best defense, their best defender on him because he is the factor here. Beat Reggie Miller. Scottie Pippen didn't have to worry about that type of thing because there was Jordan. They were trying to stop Michael Jordan. He was taking the team's best defender night in and night out like Reggie. Scottie Pippen has never been the guy. And when he was the guy, he freaking fell short of the bar big time. So all I'm saying is that how can you put a guy that played second? Hold on, bro. How can you put a guy that played second fiddle to another player his entire career over a guy that was the guy, you know what I mean, night in and night out, and dealt with the defense that he dealt with and still outscored Scottie Pippen, whom didn't have to deal with the other team's best defender every night like Reggie Miller did? Reggie Miller scored more points per game than Scottie Pippen, and he had to do it against way better defense. Go ahead.
Okay, well, Scotty had to face those defenses too when Jordan wasn't there, and I don't think he got worse. But he didn't make the team a championship team just because he was there and Jordan couldn't. That would have been crazy to do anyways, right? So, but I don't think he got worse. So I don't think Reggie Miller would have done any better. So
what did he do when it was Pippen time? That doesn't exist. It's Miller time. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I know why you were sitting there perplexed because the shit don't exist. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's damn true.
Go ahead if you guys got more to add to that. Go right ahead.
I said enough about Scottie Pippen and Reggie Miller. Like I said, the better player overall is going to be Scottie Pippen. Who's a more prolific scorer when they have to be? It's going to be Reggie Miller. But for all the other intangibles, give me Scottie.
All right. And you got anything left to say on that, B?
No, because everything he said was bullshit. I mean, like you said, man, like you straight up said. Reggie out-edged him in the points, but it was like I said, man, my whole argument
a point or two for their whole career.
Does that make him better? Yes. Statistically, you're all about the stats,
no,
right?
It doesn't.
You're the stat man, right?
Scotty's got more rebounds, assists. He's right there with the points. He's probably averages 20, and Reggie averages like 21.
Yeah, well.
So I rest my case.
Yeah, but see, the difference is, and this is the key factor, is that the team rode on Reggie's back. It never rode on Pippen's back. You know what I mean? And Reggie took him to the promised land twice. Took us to the finals twice. We couldn't get it done because we played two arguably the greatest teams of all time, the Bulls and the Lakers. And to get there, we had to go through the Knicks and a lot of other tough-ass teams. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right.
But
all right.
So you're saying that if Reggie would have won a championship, then he would have been better than Scotty. That's what you're saying. We would have to rank him better.
No, I'm not going off championships.
Higher.
That's why I didn't bring him up.
Yeah, that is a team accomplishment anyways.
Right.
It is, but if he was the best player on the team to win a championship, that's a big deal.
Well, here's the thing. How about this? Put Scottie Pippen on the Pacers, and do they get to the playoffs, the finals, and the championship as many times?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Scottie Pippen ain't never led a team.
So.
Scottie Pippen ain't never led a team to the NBA finals ever. So that's another thing. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Reggie Miller, for all the intangibles, Reggie Miller has the leadership intangible as well.
That's what I was going to add. Yep. I was going to add that, but also we saw in The Last Dance, let's not forget, when the year that Jordan went and played baseball, it was Tony Kukoc time. It wasn't Scottie Pippen time.
There we go.
Scottie Pippen stayed on the bench. He shit on bus.
They did. There was that moment.
All right. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and cut this. Thank you guys for being on. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad to have you, and we'll see if those picks that you outline, play out, Chris, because you definitely were hot coming in this week, and Brandon and I hope Kansas City can get it done for you, so the hope can still be alive, the dream rather can still be alive, and we'll see what picks I made my picks. We'll see how much money I put on those. Anything else before I let you guys go?
That's it. Bills and Bucks Super Bowl.
It's going to be Chiefs and the Packers. Let's go.
All right. Again, thanks for having you guys on, and for everybody else, championship rounds, you know what it is. Get out there, get the bag, and as always, stay frosty.